Hey, it's Scott Helman, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
The Regent Theater in LA. First time for you?
First time playing here, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think so far? Have you sound checked yet?
I haven't, no. But I love LA. I mean, it's funny too because I've been spending a lot more time here. Like I have a team down here now, and I've been writing here a lot. Yeah. So it's kind of like my second home. Nice. So it's cool to like be able to come back and like I got a lot of people coming out this time, which is funny because last time I played LA, like maybe like 5 people came, like 6 people came. Now there's like 40 people coming. So yeah, it's cool.
Is this starting to feel like a hometown show for you?
Not yet, because hometown shows are like complete and utter mayhem. Yeah. But it definitely feels like that, you know, like the added stress of all the people that you love and you want to come out, and then like also there's like industry people and all that kind of thing. So that does add hometown show elements. But I mean, my parents aren't here, so it's like 50% of the stress of a hometown show.
So before we talk about your music, I love the cover of Billie Eilish that you recently released. Thanks, for Bury a Friend, and I feel like that's such a hard song to even consider covering. Why did you choose to do that song, and how intense was it to learn that song?
I covered it with Johnny Orlando, who's a wicked singer from Canada, and we just both love Billie Eilish. So that song just came out like when we started talking about doing a song, and I was like, well, we might as well just do the song that's the most recent song. It was also the weirdest song. I thought personally, like the arrangement of that song and the subject matter and the chords are like real bizarre. So it's like I was up for the challenge, and me and my guitar player Callum just like every night after our show on tour, we just kind of worked on it and tried to figure out how to make it our own. And it was really fun. It was a challenge, but like I think we really figured out how to make something special. So. Yeah.
Did that kind of influence you in any way when you create music now? Because it's a different style of writing, it's a different style of sound than what you normally do.
I'm not sure. Hey. Sorry. I'm not sure. I think maybe like it does in the sense that it's just like getting better at arrangements and like figuring out, you know, certain little tricks that you can do when you're writing. Because also, like, it's fun to take a song like that, which is super dark and super simple, and to, like, make it, more acoustic, but also, like, give it more movement. Because you can, you know, when you're writing a song, you can go, hey, like, you know, we wrote this really dark tune, but it could also live like this or the other way around. So it just makes you realize how versatile music is. But I don't know. I don't know how to answer that properly.
So talk to me a little about Hang Ups. That song... I feel like that song is just going to be huge. It already is, but I feel like it's just going to be like such a big hit. What do you think it is about Hang Ups that is drawing everybody's attention?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say because it's like there's all these different places and worlds where my music exists. Like in Canada, I've been much more established for a longer period of time than I am here. So I think the thing about that really worked in Canada was like, it was like nothing I'd ever done before. It was super simple, really minimalistic, and I think that really worked for me because it was a challenge to write. Because although I wanted to write a song like that, I still wanted to retain like my identity in the song. So I think because I feel like I achieved that, it's really has like a special energy to it. But yeah, I don't know. It's hooky.
Yeah, it really is. Does that change the way that you write your music, though? Like, to do something so hooky like that, do you have to... Is it in the songwriting, or is it also in the production process?
I think it's all works in tandem, really. Like, I think I've been thinking about songs... Well, not all songs, but a song like that, I think of that song as, like, not verse, chorus, bridge. I think of it more like a bunch of really amazing parts that fit together. And it's figuring out how to put those together properly. Because the guitar hook, I think, is just as much of a hook as the lyrical hook in the song like that. So, yeah, I don't know. I just like it came out of a really passionate place of like frustration of not being able to communicate with my girlfriend properly, and like the like terrible fear that she was gonna leave me because I'm so incompetent at communicating. So, and I feel like everyone can relate to that, like when you're speaking and you're like, these are not the right words, and I'm really sorry. So I don't know. I mean, just came out of that, and I wanted to write a great pop song.
So how do you, as a songwriter, how do you create such a deep song like that and make it sound so fun and like happy and like it's so poppy? Like, how do you create that?
Oh fuck, I don't know. I mean, I guess like, I mean, I've been writing songs for a long time, and I'd say like for me, it's just like the more you write songs, the more you know there's a million more songs to write.
Right.
You know, so it's like there's that, but it's also like every song is a moment, and you should capitalize on it as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
So it's hard. I don't know. Like it's somewhere in between those two things. I mean, I think really though, like it's just about like staying true to what you're trying to say. And if you're staying true to what you really want to say, whatever format it exists in, it'll work.
Right.
Like if you're really passionate about what it is you're talking about, I think it can. That's why pop music is so amazing. Is because you can talk about. I mean, like a band like the 1975, for example, they have songs where they're like deconstructing like addiction and like what it means to be like in love in the 21st century and stuff like that, on the backdrop of things that are super hooky and really digestible. And I think that's like the beauty of the format. So if you're honest and you are yourself and you believe in what you're saying, I think you're good.
Yeah. Now, as you're creating like your music, you obviously released the EP recently, but as you create your music, do you have a specific producer that like your go-to producer that you always go to create these songs, or are you still trying to figure out what kind of producer you kind of want to work with?
I mean, I have a team like that I would call my core team. You know, I work with a guy named Tog Salter who's from near where I'm from, but he's amazing. I mean, I think he lives in Nashville now, but he's an incredible producer.
So that just makes him even better now.
He's just the best. He's the best. And I mean, we've been working together since I was, I think, 17. So, you know, he knows me. And I work with a woman named Simon Wilcox, who is probably my favorite songwriter in the world. But yeah, I mean, it's always expanding, and I love collaborating, and I work with lots of different people. Right. But that's my core team, just because they've known me for the longest time, and that's the biggest challenge when you're working with someone new, is like for them to understand your project and your brand and who you are as a person. So they get it. Yeah. And like I see those guys, and it's like no time has passed, and we're like, that's cool. We always write a great song because of that. So yeah.
So since you kind of mentioned that, like, what kind of artist are you? Who do you think like Scott Helman is? Like, I'm sure the fans want to know that one.
I mean, I don't know. I'm a human being, so I'm always changing, and like, I think for the fans that have been with me long enough, like, they could probably answer that question better than I can, to be honest. But I think I'm just trying to figure it out and like let people watch me do that. Yeah. Like, I think that's really what being an artist is about. I'm like really passionate about being like transparent. I've always felt that the only way to make art nowadays is to be like as real as possible. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Who are you?
Oh man, it's not your turn to interview me.
Okay, next.
Nice try though.
I don't know. Was that okay to answer?
That was good, but as you're getting transparent to your fans, like the first time you open up to them, or not necessarily to them, but like the first time you open up on a piece of paper or like in a vocal booth, like how were you able to do that? Was that uncomfortable for you, or was that just natural for you to just open up?
Oh, the first time like I ever recorded a song, kind of thing.
Well, a vulnerable song. Like Hang-Ups.
Yeah, I mean, it was, yeah. I mean, I was a really sensitive kid, and I don't think I really, like, I mean, I went to an art school and stuff, and I was around arts in my life, but I think I really had, I really shut myself off for a long time. And it's been a journey to figure out how to do that. I mean, as it is for anyone, really. Like, I'm still figuring out how to do it. Like, there's tons of things that I feel like I can say now that I couldn't say a year ago. Right. And I would have been like, I probably would have said the same thing a year ago about who I was a year before. Yeah. So I think like, it's a journey for anyone, is to like get to a place where they can, open up and figure things out. I think though also like you do have to earn it. Like you can't just, like, songs aren't just like, they come to you at the right time, and when you're ready to write a song, and then you're ready to write that song. Like you can't force that stuff, Right. Like I haven't really been able to write a song about certain things in my life for a long time that I am now, but I think about it like, wow, that's because I'm actually able to deal with those things now, So it's hard to say, but. I hope that. Oh, sorry.
You're drifting away here. There we go. All right, so you just started a partnership with Warner Brothers.
I did.
How did this opportunity kind of happen for you, and like, what excites you more about being with Warner Brothers?
Well, I've been with Warner Music Canada since I was 18, so 5 years. Oh no, well, sorry. I put up my first record with Warner Music Canada when I was 18, but I've been with them since I was 15, so a lot longer.
Wow.
So it's been like a long journey, to like from being 15 to getting a development deal to putting out my first record at 18 to like now I'm 23. It's been like I said, 5 years of like touring and growing my fan base and like establishing myself as an artist to now where I feel like ready to like really bring the music to new markets and like be the person I was supposed to be.
Yeah. And you mentioned earlier that you've been doing some writing camps out here or writing sessions out here. Can fans expect another album from you? I know 2017 was the last record, but is that something that you're working on right now? Or are you trying to like work on another EP or another single?
I'm not sure what the format's gonna be. I just feel like when you have a shot in the States, it's like you have to really be careful about what you do.
Yeah.
But also I'm an artist and I don't really give a shit about that. So I would love to just put out an album. So I'll see, but it depends on certain things. But I have a bunch of songs that regardless of what happens, I think I'm going to put out an album.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how it's going to roll out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I would love to put out a record. I have a pretty clear idea of how I want to structure it. But I definitely feel like the music I'm making right now is the most me I've ever felt.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Took a lot of trial and error.
Man, a lot. But that's the funny thing is like, things happen in your life and people are like, whoa, how do you do that? And it's like, well, I've been doing it for a long time. And like to any person like out there that's making music, I mean, not that I'm an authority on this, but it just takes like a lot of time.
Yeah.
And
You gotta put in your hours, man.
yeah.
That's what it really is. So for those fans that are not too familiar with you, like, why did you choose music as your career path? What is it about music that like makes you want to do whatever it takes to release that song or to create that track or to go on tour?
I don't know. There's so many things. Like, there's so many answers to that question. So, and I'm like, that's usually my answer to every question. But I think at the end of the day, for me, I've always wanted to be a part of something that felt bigger than me. And like, when I was 15 or 16, like, I pined so hard and wanted so badly to be part of like a scene or like a culture of music. I'd read about like the punks in the 70s and the hippies in the 60s and like the mods and all this stuff. And I was like,
Scott Helman.
No, but you know what I mean? Like I wanted to be a part of something. And so I think I've always just really, really, really wanted that. And that was like a big motivator was like, I want to be part of something. I don't just want to be like sitting in a cubicle sectioned off from the world. I want to be like part of a thing.
Right.
So that was a big thing. I think also like I've always felt the desire to be heard. I think everyone feels that. And I think to be heard, to be acknowledged, and then to hear other people is such an amazing, because really music is to me really a conversation, and it's kind of like a ping pong in that way, like you're going back and forth and having that dialogue, and like that's the fact that gets to be my job is like, I mean, it's incredible.
You're living the dream that other people only dream of, like they don't actually pursue it.
Yeah, so it's pretty dope.
Sick, man. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to me. Congratulations with this tour. This is sick. Mariana's Trench is one of like my favorite bands as well, so it's like it's cool that you get to share the stages with them. Now, for you guys that are not familiar, check out Scott Helman. Not debut EP, but new EP is out now. It's called Hang Ups, and thanks for watching our Front Row Live.